Welcome to GeekNerd, and we are going to solve the sixth question that is in the array, and we'll solve the previous five questions. If you want to practice this question, then you can visit the link that is there in the description, and you will be redirected to do this Excel sheet. And you can hover over here and click the link, and you will be redirected to that question. Okay. And if you are able to solve that question, then here is the solution. You just have to click it and hover over here and click the link that is displayed, and you'll be redirected to that video. Now we are going to solve the majority element. Uh, so I'm redirecting it. Okay. We are going to solve the majority element question. This is the 169 number question in the Leetcode. So I'm making it big. Yes. I hope you are able to see the text now. So given an array nums of length n and return the majority element. The majority element in the element that appear more than n by 2 times. You may assume that the majority element always exists in the array. In this question, it is asked to return the majority element in the array, and we are assuming that the array that is given in this question have the majority element. And the majority, what do you mean by the majority element? The element that that have appears more than half half of the length of the times, then it is considered as a majority element. Like in this example one, it has 3 2 3. That means it is the majority element is 3, as 3 appears 2 times and 2 appears once. So if we make a half of it, and it has a floor uh, floor function, so 3 by 2 is equal to 1.5, and floor function is 1. Whichever element that appears more than once is the majority element here. So here is the majority element. Okay. Here in the nums, like in the second example, here there are 2, 2, 1, 1, 1, 2, 2. So how many elements are there? There are 7 elements. If we divide 7 by 2, then that is 3.5. And if we apply floor function on 3.5, then it is 3. So which element that appears more than 3 times, that is the uh, majority element. So here, 1 appears 3 times. It is not more than 3 times, okay? But 2 appear 4 times. So the majority element is 2. So for the brute force approach, what we can do is uh, store the occurrence of the element of each element in a hash map, and whichever appear in the majority, we will return the element. That will be the brute force approach. Let's see. So what we are going to do, okay, like we are going to have a hash map integer, comma, integer. Uh, let's have a reference map. Mhm. Map equal to new hash map. Okay, and we are iterating over the array, and we are just taking it the map content key is equal to num, and we are going. to make it method put num comma dot get num plus one. We are going to increment. Okay. Like if the key exists in the map, then what we're going to do, we are incrementing the occurrence. Okay. But that if the element is not there, then we are just making it occurrence one because it appears first. Okay, first time. So that is one. And if we have encountered it second time, then we are getting the number of occurrence and increasing it by one. Okay. In the end, we will iterate over uh map dot get keys, I think. No, no. I think that is keys. Okay. Uh, uh, key map dot keys, I think. Key set, sorry, key set, I think. Key set. Okay. Okay. If there is a syntax error, then we'll check in the internet. Okay. It is not a major issue. Hmm? Okay. Let's have some value, minimum value, like uh, let's have a max count is equal to 0. Okay. And answer is equal to, like, suppose it is a minus 1, it will change. Okay. Or we can, what we can do, we just initialize it and don't assign a value. Okay. Then if we get a key that is above max count, that means m dot get map dot get is uh get greater than max count. Then we are assigning max count as the occurrence map dot get key, and we are assigning the answer as key. And at the end we are returning answer. That means here here yeah, what is happening here is after storing every occurrence in the hash map, we are iterating over the hash map, and whichever key has higher occurrence, we are finding that and returning the answer. Okay, so I hope it will pass. Let's see. Okay, what happens? Uh, okay, we just we have an infinite minus one. Okay, let's see. And actually, uh, we are getting a compilation error, because it is assuming that if we not get into the for loop, then what will happen to the answer? So that's what happened. But things will be solved. Okay, they solved. Okay, but but is it a optimized solution? What is the time complexity here? The time complexity is big O of n. Okay, great. It is a big O of n. I can't think of a better time complexity than big O of n. Okay, but have you think about the space complexity here? The space complexity is big O of n also, right? But does we need HasMap? Is there any better solution than this thing? I think there is. What we can do, basically, we know that we know that the element always comes more than the answer that we are going to return occurs more than n by 2 times. Okay, so what we let's take this second example. Okay, Uh, Suppose if we cancel the different elements, like here, if we find 2, then we'll cut it. Then we find 2, then we'll cut the 1. If we find 2, then we'll cut the 1. If we find 2, then we'll cut the 1. At the end, we are getting 2, right? So, mm, so what we can do is, let's have a count 0. And whenever the count is 0, we're considering the current element as the maximum, right? If the count is 0, then we are like, that means we are getting multiple elements. Like, so think like that. Think like that. Okay. Okay. If the size of the array is 100, there, according to the question, there should be a element that will be more than 50. That element, there should be a one element that appears more than 50 times. Am I correct? If you are feeling that like I'm not correct, then you should understand the question first. Because the question has said that it should appear and more than n by 2 times. That means the 100 divided by 2, that is 50 times, more than 50 times. That means if a element is there, if there is a majority element, then the element should appear more than 50 times. It doesn't matter how many elements are there. So if we cancel different element, um, what I mean by that is, um, if even if there is different element, like if we have more than 50, more than 50, if there is 100 element and the number of one that are there is more than 50, and the number of two is around 20 or something, and the number of uh, 3 is the remaining element, then if we cancel every different element, then the majority element will be left. Are you getting that? So that means, okay, let's understand by this question. Suppose first we consider the first element as the maximum one. Okay, so we have a count 0. So first element is max, so max is equal to 2. Okay, okay. So as we can encounter 2, so first element 1 will increment it by 1. Okay, as we encounter 2. In second element, let's have a I is equal to 0. Okay, let's increment the I, and we encounter 2 again, then we'll increment as a 2. Okay.